Hey vinyl community, James back after a little break after my first couple of videos, and I wanted to come back and today talk about one of my favorites, Faruq Bey, Rwanda. This is one of the albums I want to talk about today. I noticed that Faruq Bey, I see mentions of him on the vinyl community here and there, but not enough I feel like he deserves. So I wanted to give him a little spotlight today and talk about him. For those of you who aren't familiar with Faruq Bey, he's a Detroit guy. He was in the band Griot Galaxy in the 70s and the 80s. And then at some point decided to release a bunch of solo albums with the band Northwood Improvisers. And amazing stuff. It's exotic, mystical. You know, the term spiritual jazz is associated with his music. Spiritual jazz is probably become a little overused these days. It's almost like a marketing term, but Faruq Bey it's the real deal. Amazing stuff. When I think of Faruq Bey, you know, for me, it's the kind of music you just lay on the floor, turn off the lights, close your eyes, and ponder existence, or images of walking through a ancient forest on the way to a lost temple in the mist and the rain, or something like that. That's my way of thinking of it. Just incredible music. So I want to show, I think I have most of his output on vinyl and CD, because a lot of it's hard to find. But here's the first one of his that I found. It's Rwanda. And let me tell you how I found this. Well, not why I found this, but what attracted me. First of all, any book, movie, album with any kind of title that has that evokes sadness or melancholy or tragedy is always going to appeal to me. And so when I saw Rwanda and that shot of him, it was instantly like, what is this? And I didn't know anything about it. Took it home and was instantly captivated. It's probably one of my all-time favorite records of any genre. Some of the tracks on here are Rwanda, Himalayan Footpath, and Mamaka. And like I said, he plays with his band, Northwood Improvisers. And they have their own albums too. They're their own self-contained unit. They've been around since 1976, from what I understand. Incredible backing band. And a lot of this music is on this QBI Records. Most of the output is on that label. And all of his albums are recorded live. They're either live in the studio or actually live in a studio audience. So Rwanda is an amazing one. Very hard to find. All of his albums are hard to find. It's like with a lot of things, the only time I've seen them is when I got them. So Rwanda, obviously a heavy topic, and the music is heavy, deep, spiritual, to use that term. Incredible stuff. Another one is Infa. Look at that cover. Same kind of feel. That evocative Faruq Bey thing going on. Here's the back. Some of the tracks are Ethiopia, After Death. I mean, After Death, 16-minute song. So a song called After Death at 16 minutes, you know it's going to be amazing. And actually, just to give you some background, the Northwood Improvisers, the band is Mike Carey, who plays tenor, alto, and flute, Skeeter Shelton, who plays tenor and soprano, Mike Johnston on bass, Nick Ashton drums, and Mike Gilmore on vibes and marimba. And Mike Gilmore, the vibes and marimba, the color that he adds to this music, it gives it this really mystical undercurrent. the way the sax and the vibes interplay is something incredibly unique. It's beautiful, beautiful stuff. Another one is, now this is a little bit different a lineup. This is Faruq Bey with Dennis Gonzalez and the Northwood Improvisers, and this one is called Hymn for Tomasz Stenko, the Polish trumpet player. I don't know, I haven't read any information of where what the connection is with Tomasz Stenko, but obviously they have a reverence for Tomasz Stenko. The song on here, the title track, Hymn for Tomasz Stenko, is a 12-minute track. Some other of the songs are Who Knew, HU-NU, Kuntu, and Elam. And it's all with Northwood Improvisers too. When I found something like this, it's one of those things where you're flipping through and you find something and you almost have to close your eyes, like you can't believe you found it. It's those record store moments that are precious. I mean, when I came across this thing, I couldn't believe it because I knew it existed. Amazing, amazing record. This one's probably a little bit more free and avant than the other ones, but still has that Faruq Bey trademark sound to it. Incredible, incredible album, and so stoked to have this one. The next one is a little bit different than his other stuff. This is Faruq Bey live at the Detroit Art Space. This is a totally different lineup. It's not with the Northwood Improvisers. The lineup on here is Kenny Green on piano and Fender, Joel Peterson on acoustic and electric bass, Kevin Calloway on drums, and a special guest of Mike Carey with flute and woodwinds. This was recorded May 1st, 2004. I think I had ordered this on Dusty Groove many years ago, but look at that shot of Faruq. Very cool. Really cool record. Another one, Faruq Bey and the Northwood Improvisers, Primal Waters. Right up there with Infa and Rwanda in terms of that same style. Really long tracks. Primal Waters is a 12-minute track. Talon is 14 minutes. And all acoustic, recorded live. Primal Waters is that one. Great record. And the last LP that I have is, this one is the earliest recording of everything I have. And this is called Synchron. Completely different lineup than the other ones. The only names I know on here are Ron English, the Detroit guitar player, Keith Vreeland on piano, John Dana on bass, and Leonard King on drums. This was recorded in the late 80s. This one has a little bit more of a fusion style to it. And honestly, I'm not as into this as the other ones, but I put this on the other day just to refamiliarize myself with it. It's actually it's pretty good, but it's not the same as the other ones. So those are the LPs I have, and they're all really hard to find. I'm blessed to have them. I don't buy a lot of CDs. I like to buy select choice CDs, and with Faruq Bey, he's the kind of guy that, to me, anything I could find, I'd get. So I just want to show you some CDs. This one is called Azur, with Northwood Improvisers. It's on that same, this is on the Entropy 3 label. So some of his albums are on that Entropy 3 label. Same kind of feel as Rwanda. I mean, you can't go wrong with anything you get of him. There's that one. This one is called a Shari Pattern. Look at that cover. And that kind of says it all. I mean, look at that. That's the feel of the music. Some of the songs on here are Undercurrent, Dragons, Memories, and all long tracks. 10, 11, 12-minute tracks. Here's one, 19 Moons. And look at that lineup, or look at that, look at that cover. Again, it just, look at the man. It just, by looking at him, you can just tell what kind of music it's going to be. Some of the songs on here, After Death, you know, that was on the other album, a different version, 12 minutes. Moors, Moors, 14 minutes, 19 Moons, 12 minutes. So again, these long, flowing, evocative, spiritual tracks. More people should talk about him or know about him. I mean, if you don't, and in fact, if I can figure out how to do this technically, I'll put links to a few of my favorite tracks in the video so you can get a taste of what I'm talking about. Another one is this Journey into the Valley. This is a live in-concert recording. This is a double. It has a DVD of the show in here too. So yeah, DVD is basically an exact replica of the CD, so you can watch it. This was his final recording. Faruq Bey died in 2012. I think he was 60 when he died. I think he was born in 42, if my math is right. But this is one of the digipacks. It opens up like that. This is Emerging Field with Northwood Improvisers. Again, you can't go wrong. It's just track after track of just, wow, just blissful music. My favorite song of his is on here, and I'll provide a link to it if I could figure it out. It's called Tenere, Tenere. I'm not even going to try to describe it. Just, you take a listen. It's amazing stuff. And then the last thing I want to show is Faruq Bey. He's almost like a Sun Ra type of character in a way, because he has books of poetry that are out there. Apparently, I did some reading about him a while ago. He studied something called Egyptian mathematics, which I didn't know there was something called Egyptian mathematics. When he was in college, he studied existentialism, and he has albums of poetry, and I did find one. It's called Hymn Book of the Anciency. So he's just, I mean, you talk about a true artist. Faruq Bey is the guy. This is one of these sort of thin, it almost seems like it could be a burned rip-off thing, but it's not. It's the real deal. So yeah, I mean, I just wanted to give a quick tribute to Faruq, because I think that I love him, and I feel like if you don't know about him and you like jazz, and especially things that are more on the spiritual, you know, modal side of things, he's definitely worth checking out. And in fact, if you bought a Faruq Bey album based on my recommendation and you didn't like it, you come to me and I'll give you a refund. Seriously, he's one of my top guys. You know, along with, you know, Coltrane and Hendrix and, you know, Black Sabbath, you know, whatever it may be, he's one of the top guys ever. So I can't go on and on about him, because, you know, I've already said it. So check out Faruq. Hope all my ramblings made sense, and thanks for listening. Enjoy.